What's up, y'all? This is your girl, JRose. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the JRose Experience. I had a great time chopping it up with today's guests. I sat with two amazing women, Rare Epiphany and Kierra Lashae. They spilled all the tea on what it takes to make your way to the top as a performer in ATL. We also played around with some funny text messages during the Off the Top segment where we play a randomly selected game. So sit tight because we're about to drop some serious gems for you today. Stay tuned, guys. Keep growing. Welcome to the JRose Experience. I'm your host, JRose. I'm here with my guest today. She is a poet, an author, and an activist. She's got 2 slam wins under her belt, and she's aiming to be a global game changer. Please welcome my guest, Kierra Lashae.
Hello.
Hey, hi.
Hello.
Welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm super excited. I'm excited too. Everybody says that they're nervous when they come here, and I'm like, guys, I'm more nervous than you. Trust me.
I don't think so.
So I want to talk about these slam wins.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am not a slam poet. I tried it one time. But I do admire people that go out there and compete because
Mm-hmm.
it's not easy. You know,
At
people
all.
will tell you you're trash and you're just like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, how did you prepare to be in a slam?
So I actually randomly decided to do my first slam. I was visiting DC. I was up in DC on a break. I was actually on a work trip, and then after the work trip, I decided to spend the weekend there. And I don't know, I was looking up events, and I was just like, I think I want to do a slam tonight. It was what was it called?
Was that your first slam?
That
ever?
was my first slam ever. It was called the 11th Hour Slam up in DC.
Okay.
And I think I was intrigued because it was at like 11 p.m. That's when it started. And I was like, I have nothing else to do, I guess. So let me go check it out.
Yeah.
And the host, she was really dope. I think her name is Charity. She still does them virtually now.
Yes.
But she was awesome. And I was just like, I'm going to just do it. I don't know anybody here. So if I mess up, if I'm terrible,
you're like, whatever.
I don't even care. Right. And so I did it. It was awesome. Everybody like enjoyed it, and I won first place by, it was by a margin.
Oh my
But I was
God.
excited. I was like, oh my God, I did this. Like, I literally
So
called
then what'd you
everybody
do?
I
You
knew.
just started kicking doors down. You're like, I'm
So mind
slamming.
you, once it was done, it was like 1 or 2 a.m. when the slam ended. I was driving home in my Uber, and I was literally like texting everybody like, y'all, OMG, OMG. And that slam had like 2 rounds.
Yeah.
So I guess because it's so late at night, they're like, look, we gotta get
Wrap
people
this
in
up.
and out, right? But I don't know, it kind of just gave me like a lot of confidence,
Yes.
and it kind of just validated like kind of what you already know. Like you know, people tell you you're good, especially your friends and stuff. But when other people say it, you're like, oh, okay, I think I am like a little decent maybe. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. And I had been going to like open mics all over Atlanta and stuff before then. But I guess just out of a whim, I decided to do my first slam up in DC. And then after that, I had came back down. And a couple months later, I decided to do a slam here in Atlanta.
Oh, she was like, I'm queen
I
of
was
the
like, let me
world.
try one more time with my people, here.
And
in
did
my
you win
city.
that one?
Yeah, I won that. I've only done 2, so I won both of those.
So hold on, wait. You've only done 2 slams and you won both of them.
Yeah, I won both of them.
You're
Won first
undefeated,
place in
girl.
both
You
of
are
those,
undefeated.
so. No, I wouldn't say that. I would like to get a couple more up under my belt and actually compete in like on a slam team and stuff eventually. That was actually one of my goals for this year before COVID hit.
Yeah.
But Corona, and I'm in the house, and I'm like, well, I'll just take this opportunity to relax.
Yeah.
And that's really, I've been doing that like to the max.
Yeah. So
yeah.
you've done other things as well. Like you are an amazing writer.
Yeah.
So you've written for, what is it, Atlanta, the travel food
guide?
guide?
So I'm a huge foodie, and so I actually have a completely separate food Instagram where I go all over the city, or if I'm traveling, I'll go and like just take pictures of the food, check out what they got. I really like good food. I don't care how it look as long as it's good, you know?
Yes.
And so, that became like just a fun hobby of mine.
Yeah.
And as the food page grew, people would reach out and ask me to like write or suggest places in Atlanta. So I think my very first blog that I wrote for, I want to say it's called the Atlanta Food Guide or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, sure, of course I'll do it. So I write here and there for any places like that. And then I'm also a Yelp Elite member where you do like reviews and stuff for Yelp.
Whoa.
Listen, it's actually all of that is free. Like anybody can be a Yelp Elite member, and once you become elite, like you just get invited to all type of events, like free openings to restaurants and stuff. So I started doing that because I'm like, I like to write, I like to take pictures anyway. Might as well, get something out of it. Put it all together. So I've been doing that.
So what's the hottest restaurant in Atlanta? Because we gotta plan a nice dinner for me and my crew, and we gotta eat.
What type of food you like?
We like everything. Like, I'm here with 4 men. Like, they eat everything.
So, well, yesterday, I'm going through my head because I'm like, it's so much cuisine,
I know, Atlanta, there's so much.
So if you like tacos, you're actually in the perfect spot because right across the street, there is a place called Tacos La Villa. Listen, they tacos. $1 tacos. They got a 3 taco plate with rice and beans for like $6. I'm telling you cannot go wrong with their tacos. Listen, right across the street, and they got burrito tacos too.
Listen, we love tacos in this house.
I do too. I just went there yesterday, and I was like, I should not go there multiple times in a week.
You also travel a lot.
Yes, before 2020.
Before 2020. Okay, let's talk about pre-2020. I feel like that's a common theme with everybody. What do you travel for work or do you travel for leisure?
So both. Okay. I travel for work very seldom. Like it's only a couple times a year for like conferences or stuff with our vendors because I work in marketing. I work at a nonprofit, and so sometimes I have to go like view stuff with our vendors, or if I'm like having fun, I get to go to a conference. But all of that has been squashed, due to budget cuts and Corona. But so that's always fun. And anytime I'm traveling for work, I always try to schedule like a couple extra days just so I can have some fun myself in whatever city I'm in. But when it's by myself, I recently got into like traveling solo because I used to be one of the people where I'm like, I want to travel with my friends. And you have to hit people up and plan,
and then they flake. They be like, yes, girl.
And I'm usually the one who actually does the planning in my group. And I actually, although I don't mind, like I don't feel like doing that all the time. And I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna just do it for myself because having to piece together like 10 different people ain't it for me.
No, it's hard.
Yeah, so I started like traveling solo. I want to say I think it was like 2 years ago. 1 or 2 years ago, I was on like a work trip. And I decided to like, extend it throughout the weekend. And I just had like the best time ever. Yes. And I was like, I should travel with myself.
Where's the first place that you went by yourself other than
what was it? I want to say it was DC. And then where else have I went to LA solo. Although LA, thankfully, like I have friends there too. I can stay with my friends, but then also I can like do my own thing. Dallas, Texas is one of my favorite places to go.
Really?
Because of the food.
I've never been to because of the food.
You never been to Texas?
No, I've never been to Texas.
Listen, girl, you gotta go to Dallas. No, actually go to Houston. And then you can go to Dallas. Austin is really cool too. That was the first place I went for a wedding.
Where's your like dream? Like if you can travel anywhere where money was not an issue by yourself, where would you go?
Bali. I've been wanting to go to.
She was like, she didn't.
Listen, I'm definitely one of the people who like plan trips. I'm like, go on like Airbnb or YouTube. I love watching vlogs on YouTube.
Do you like travel vlogs?
Yes. So I will sit and watch like travel vlogs about wherever destination I want to go.
There you go. If you have a travel vlog and you need some viewers,
hit me up.
You got one right here.
Hit me up, because I specifically will seek out like Black people who are traveling and stuff just to see what the experience is like.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you just gotta know,
especially when
I'm traveling solo.
Yes,
girl. So
or even like when you're leaving the country, you want to know, how Black and people of color are
exactly
welcomed in that country.
Exactly. And I was gonna have my first like international solo trip this year to like Toronto, and it was gonna be like for my birthday. Oh. But I had to cancel it, and that's okay. I just feel like it's just not the right time.
Yes.
But I was gonna go to Toronto because I'm like still closed in case I need to like escape back home. I can still just go right
cross
back
the
over
border.
The border. Exactly. And they speak English, fairly well because I need to work on my languages.
Your languages? That's really funny because in the U.S., a lot of people speak just one language.
Yeah. And I hate that. I wish I would have grew up bilingual.
Yeah. When you go to Europe and you go to like all these other countries outside of the U.S., people speak 3-4 languages.
Right. I just feel so incompetent.
Oh, don't worry. Okay. Get you like one of them like language.
Ain't it like
things?
Duolingo or something?
Yeah.
They're doing like a little 3-month trial or something. I don't know. I need to figure that out. I speak a little Spanish, but don't.
Un poquito.
Don't.
She said.
Hola.
Hola.
Baño.
You're also an activist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where did this activism come from?
Just growing up, really, like I grew up in the projects. Like my grandmother still lives in the projects, and she would always take us to the soup kitchens. And not only would we be eating there, but we'd also help out. Like she's like, we might as well do both, so we know what exactly we're eating. And ever since then, like when I got to high school and on to college here in Atlanta, it was just something ingrained in me to always give back, no matter like what stance I'm in financially or economically. It always feels good to give back, one. Yeah. And two, like, why not? Like, it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel right to me to be living lavish, but then like people in Atlanta on the same street as you struggling or something like that, or people so it's kind of just something that's been like ingrained in me. So whether it's going to the soup kitchens, like helping out with all the different community groups and stuff in Atlanta, or even like now with the protesting. So I've been protesting since I got in Atlanta.
Wow.
I want to say my first protest, 2012, was the Trayvon Martin protest that I went to. It was like the middle of the summer. I had just got here, and I was like, I'm there. Like whatever y'all. It was either 2012 or 2013, but ever since then, like I'm always out there, and it's crazy because my parents. I'm from Rome, Georgia, which is like a small little country town.
Yeah.
And anybody who lives in Georgia know you got Atlanta, and then you got the rest of Georgia. So you got.
So you're like
from the rest of Georgia, which is very, very white, and not as liberal as Atlanta. And so they get worried about me a lot. So my parents and my grandparents specifically. And so anytime I'm like out protesting and stuff, I'll get a text. My mom, they're on two different spectrums. My dad's more like, rigid and stuff. My mom be like, yeah, I'm proud of you. Be safe. Let me know when you get home.
My dad's like, get your ass home.
Kierra, are you out there in those streets? I see this on CNN. I'm just like, wow. You want to FaceTime?
They already know.
Right. So it's always funny when I'm out there like talking to my parents, but like thankfully like I have a whole support system. Like I got friends who be out there and I always tell people like you don't have to be out there in the streets. Like you can
there's
be the
other
person
ways
donating.
to be activists.
Right, especially with my friends like from college and stuff. Like some of them they may not have like they may be too scared to go out there first of all, or they may just not have the time. Like all right, well here's a donation link. All right, well, you can go pick up some water and drop it off. But, there's a lot of different stuff you can do, even if you just share on Instagram. Like, do something. So, it's just something just ingrained in me.
I got a weird question for you. What is your favorite pair of shoes to wear when you perform?
When I perform? Ooh, some flats. Girl, I got to be comfortable. I don't know what's going on with my flats.
Some flats?
But I like some flats or some cute little sandals or whatever.
Yeah.
I done tried it with the heels, but I'm just
not working.
Not coordinated like that.
I've definitely almost.
So definitely some comfortable flats or something. I just gotta be comfortable but cute.
Yeah.
In general.
You can do both. Yes. And I have a fun little weird question. Who is your creative crush?
Ooh, let me think. You know, the first person that came to mind, it can be anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. The first person that came to mind was Issa Rae. Just
Yes.
because I really love, like, first of all, I love Insecure because I just be like, on any episode,
Yes.
I'm like, I'm this character. I'm that old.
That's me.
Embarrassing. But I love Insecure, and I just love, like, just watching her grow and all the things she's done.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I was, like, a late bloomer to Issa Rae. Like, I didn't watch, like, her show on YouTube
the earlier
at first.
stuff,
Yeah, I didn't watch it at first until I saw, like, Insecure come out. I'm like, who is this?
Who is this?
But I like her a lot, and I just love, like, a lot of the creative stuff she does.
Yes.
So, yes, and I can relate to a lot
I could
of
totally crush hard on her. She's so amazing.
I know.
I know you got some poetry for us.
Yes. What you?
Yes.
Oh, listen.
Are you going to share with us?
I don't mind.
Yeah.
You want me to share like one poem?
Definitely.
Okay.
We'll be right back with a performance from Kierra Lashae.
You have a high tolerance for chaos, my therapist says. I'm catching her up on the roller coaster of my life, my body nervously nestled into her couch in hopes of calming my mind from fight or flight mode, and I think, doesn't every woman? I sit up, put on my best smile, and I say I cope by playing the best Dawn actress in the world, by being everything except myself. I play housekeeper, cleaning my brother's blood up several times a year, and when society decides to dress up my role, I play Cinderella, scrub the floor, clean the dishes, take care of family, even when it's not my family, and I stay strong when the family tears in hopes of one day getting my happily ever after that no one's serving at the moment. I play 911 operator, always answering when other people call, even if they don't answer mine, because I know the lonely too well. I know how it feels to hear voicemail whispers from friends who are 6 feet under due to our nation's year-round hunting season. My people are always the mistakes, the accidents, the oops I didn't miss, and I guess when you're only used to seeing us as 3/5, it's easy to justify killing a Black person that was never whole to you to begin with. And I am left with the 30-second reminder of the person that was actually there. I play cadaver. Henrietta Lacks, bigger than life itself once deemed important. My body is not mine anymore. At that point, it becomes commodity for men, scientists, and government officials to tell me what I can and can't do with my body, as if the person living in this body isn't the best equipped to make informed decisions about it. I play flower, a plucked dandelion blown out, the seeds of my dreams scattered across a forgotten grass plot, bridge, condo, and dog park are then built over my roots and called beautiful and restorative. As if they wasn't beautiful and restorative to begin with, call it imposter syndrome at its best. I and every sister my great-grandmothers birthed into the last century suffers from PTSD, post-traumatic slave disorder, post-integration disorder, post-crack era disorder, post-Trump administration disorder. They've been grabbing us and getting lost in our hair follicles, deeming our presence unpleasurable lest it be used for sex practice or boxing practice or target practice, and we are tired of being the strong and independent one, the token one. We are tired of cleaning house and washing blood and having to cherry pick our way through a system that was not built for us, so we play actress and become everything the world needs to clean up the mess. So I suppose, therapists, I do have a high tolerance for chaos, as history has shown me that chaos is the only thing that's guaranteed to come back, no matter how many times I let it go. Thank you.
From the brand that redefines the chivalrous style of today's gents comes their exclusive Key to the City collection. I'm super hyped about this collection because no matter where we go with the JRose Experience, no matter what city we're in, I'm gonna be able to rep for New York and people are gonna know where I'm from. Hit up Gent and Scholar to rep for your city, including keys to Atlanta, Chicago, DC, Houston, Los Angeles, Miami, New Orleans, Philly, St. Louis, and of course, New York. So head over to gentandscholarcode.com and use the discount code JRose10 for 10% off your purchase of $50 or more. Keep growing. Welcome back to the JRose Experience. I'm your host, JRose. I'm here with my next guest. She is an Atlanta-based poet, singer, songwriter, entrepreneur, mother, survivor. I mean, her creative career, she's got one of the most extensive creative careers I've ever seen. So please, please, please give a warm welcome to Rare Epiphany. Welcome.
Hey.
I'm so happy to have you here. I was reading your bio and I was just like, I can probably ask her 1,000 questions. How can I narrow this down? So I want to talk about, you did a lot in broadcast as well. So let's talk a little bit about that, because you mentioned that you worked with NBC. You did some stuff during the Olympics that was out here.
Yes.
Tell me about your experience in broadcasting.
So I am an only child, which means I'm loquacious. I talk a lot. I went to UNC Chapel Hill, started doing some work in broadcast media communications, then ended up at Oakwood University. It was Oakwood College in Huntsville.
Nice.
And got my degree in broadcast media and said, okay, I want to do something in broadcast media. And they came. It was right before the Olympics, and they were like, okay, the Olympics are going to be in Atlanta, and we need somebody for this host broadcast training program, but you can't be a graduating senior. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went and I dropped a class.
I'm done.
And so that I technically wasn't a graduating senior, and then I came here and co-opted my last year working at Clark. And then as soon as I finished the program, I went back the day before graduation, clept a class, and marched.
Yo.
Because you got to work the system.
Listen, work the system.
And I just never left Atlanta. I loved it. I worked in radio for several radio stations here.
Wow.
I worked at a country station. It would always be amazing when you get to like the live show. It was a Reba McEntire show. And I come out to host the show and they're like, that's what. But yeah, I got into media and then decided I wanted to be creative and actually like make money. So I used the other degree in accounting.
There you go. There you go.
But to still be able to work in media,
yes.
to still do the music stuff and record and every now and then jump back on the broadcast side.
Yes.
Of things. So yeah.
You've also been kind of busy. I know that you're working on 2 books, too, and they're both very different.
Yes.
One is your poetry book.
Yes.
Right? And then the other one is like a very unique cookbook.
Yes. So
what you got brewing?
If when people follow me on Instagram, they're like, we don't like you because you make us hungry. So what I do is I'm pescatarian. Right.
Nice.
So I eat fish, but I'm kosher pescatarian. So
Okay.
I don't eat like seafood. I can eat clean white fish, think Jewish kosher.
Okay.
But so there are a lot of things that, because I don't eat meat, it doesn't mean I didn't like meat.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I meet people at.
Yeah.
So I teach classes too. So I teach people who are transitioning from a normal kind of omnivorous diet to more pescatarian, vegan, or vegetarian.
Oh,
really?
So
I teach classes called Almost Vegetarian.
Almost Vegetarian.
And so some of them are vegan classes, so Vegan 101. So I'll teach you how to do stuff, but I do transitioning. So I create mock things. So when somebody, like, if I'm with my family and me want some Trini food and I don't want, I want this, I want that. Then, if I want a oxtail, then I'm going to make oxtail.
I love oxtail.
And so I make vegan oxtail.
What?
I do. I make vegan brisket.
I had no idea that vegan oxtail even existed.
I know most people don't.
Does it taste like oxtail though?
It does. And here's what it is. Most people don't understand until if you cook, you know that if you got some ground beef and you just made some ground beef, it's not going to taste like anything, right? If you didn't put any seasoning in it at all. Yeah. You like the seasoning and the texture. It's not the meat that makes that. So once you get the texture right, and once you get your seasoning right, then you're good. I don't trust vegans who've been vegans their whole lives to make anything mock for you. Like, you don't know what chicken tastes like.
Yeah, that's true. No. That's true.
So, like, I made some ribs, and, my roommate's just killing ribs. And he's like, these not real, are they? These not real.
What? I gotta taste that. I wish you brought a plate of food, man. I would have,
if I could escape a plate out of my house, usually when I cook, I post pictures, and then I get pings. And because I don't know how to cook for one person, I usually, in these COVID streets, I usually just say, let me know when you're in the parking lot. And I have a bag with the food in the trays, and I have it outside my door for the people who come by and like,
oh my gosh, that's so nice.
And then people come and grocery shop in my house because if there's nothing else in my house, there's food.
Oh my gosh.
My deep freezer stays on full.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, especially with stuff is really crazy now. Yeah. So, I have friends who know that I have an open thread that says, if I find out you're hungry and you didn't call me,
We have problems.
And they don't want these problems. Okay?
That's really sweet of you.
Yeah. But yeah, I love it. I love feeding people. I love, teaching people how to make really healthy, nutritious meals. And it's funny because people see me and they're like, healthy, nutritious. I'm like, look, at my heaviest, I was like 530.
Wow.
So it's just having to transition and be like, take this out.
So is that what the book is about, the transition?
So the book is about transitioning. Like, even if you don't want to I do vegan Monday through Friday. And then I do fish all weekend long.
Okay.
Because that's what I want to do, and that's my business.
Yes.
But I do that. So I love doing that, and I love being able to create food that is good for you, but it's good.
But then tastes good.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want
that's what we want. We want food to taste good.
It's great, but it tastes like cardboard.
I don't like that cardboard. I don't like cardboard either. How do you balance, being creative, because you also write music, you record, you write poetry, you perform, you are writing these 2 books, you are a mother. How do you balance all of this?
I don't sleep. No, I do. I sleep very little. But I work 10 to 16 hours a day in my regular day job.
Wow.
And so I cook a lot at night. And I spend a lot of time since, with school being at home, I spend a lot of time with my son. And my son has Asperger's. So my son he'll be 16 on the 24th of August. He's high functioning.
Yes.
But he still has Asperger's.
Yeah.
And so that requires a certain level of attention.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing all the time. But once I figured out that he is my priority, and then I am next, everything else falls into place, because the music and the food, I would do it for free because I love it. It's my passion. Yeah. So I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So my weekends, usually I get off work at 5 o'clock on Friday because I got to cook. I cook for a group on Friday night. I rehearse with a classical group that I sing with on Fridays, and then I cook all weekend long. What? And I perform on the weekend or at night. So last Thursday, we did a social distancing show at a place called the Man Cave. And so I still do all of that stuff. But I allow my son to do him. And he does music. So my son is a music producer. He works for 2 labels. Yes. At 15.
2 labels.
But he does dubstep, EDM, rhythm. So he's like on the opposite, and he like, Mama over there, I do this. Okay.
Yes, he's got his own thing.
Yeah, he's Moon Boy and all those people. Okay.
I have a fun question. If you could cook a meal for a celebrity, who would you cook for?
Rochelle Farrell.
And what would you cook?
Rochelle Farrell. Period. Period. I love her. I'm scared of God, so I have to worship God, but it didn't be Rochelle Farrell.
Rochelle Farrell? What would you cook for her?
I would probably make her some kale salad. And like kale salad, like, you haven't been to Tassili's, have you? There's a place here called Tassili's, Raw Reality.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Raw vegan, the bomb. And so she does these kale wraps. And so it's this kale that you have to massage, and it's got sun-dried tomatoes and the garlic and the nutritional yeast. It's really good. So I want to make, I would have to do the kale salad for her. And then, of course, I would have to make her some vegan oxtail.
Vegan oxtail?
Or some doubles, which is like
Ooh, doubles. I love doubles.
I did doubles last week. Because you gotta have some doubles. I made some, my coconut chutney, and I had my cucumber. So trendy, I love it. Had to do it. But yeah, it would be like, I don't know how to cook like one dish. I cook
for everybody.
So she would be there for days. She'd be like, I'd be like, you gotta eat this. You haven't tried this yet. You can't leave.
Rochelle gotta move in.
She gotta move in. That's in my head that she's my sister. Anyway.
I love it. What is your favorite pair of shoes to wear when you perform? I love shoes. I gotta ask.
Okay, so I am not a shoe person. I used to be a shoe person until old age hit me. And then I said no more. So
the knees,
y'all
the heels
y'all
on the
got
knees.
like shoes that have shiny stuff on them. I usually wear, if you see me, no matter what I have on, you're gonna find me in a pair of Nikes.
Nikes.
I wear some Nike sneakers with dresses, whatever. Nike sneakers. Get on stage, I'm comfy, got my Nikes on. If something go down, we nook if you go up. You ain't gotta get ready if you stay ready.
I hear that. Yeah, I struggle with the heels on stage. I bust my ass. Like,
literally did a show with Rochelle Farrell. I had to open for them. And I had these beautiful pair of brown suede pumps. I did the first song in my set. I said, excuse me. I took them off. I said, anybody wear a size 12? I got country grape stomping feet. Size 12. Anybody in here? I bought these right for the show. Here you go, baby. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Oh my gosh, took them right off.
Last time.
Yeah, I can't do the heels on stage no more.
No more.
Nah. Mm-hmm. I love it. You got something ready for us? You gonna do some poetry? You gonna sing? Like, what you gonna do?
I do a little both and mixed in. It's just stirred it all together. It's coming.
I love it. Ooh. Stay tuned, because we'll be right back with a performance from Rare Epiphany.
I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know you're a star. Where you go, I'll follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, then you're the best part. I love you like raindrop on thirsty earth. Sink into you, am cool to your heat, meet thirst with satisfaction, kiss ashen till passion blooms. I love you like echo, repeating into the ethos and the ether. Either way, I reciprocate continually your love for me. Ripple like river when you are stone thrown into my depths. I reflect in waves. I love you like poet loves pen, like bullet loves black skin, like acquittals love guilty cops, and fear loves traffic stops involving unarmed black men. I love you like end, only to begin again, like remember when, like we break, we mend, like we pretend not to see these cracks, like we lose track of the tracks of tears, like how did we get here? But we ain't going nowhere. I love you like hair, tangled in knots, locked like complicated and beautiful, like hands not dutiful enough to take it loose, like refuse to, like you gonna have to cut me off to be set free, like you gonna have to shed me and grow something wild, unknown, and new. I love you like something wild, unknown, and new, like glue, like stuck on you, like gum and shoe, like something to hold on to when stuff starts falling apart, like anchor and chalk to hold you steady and mark new pathways in this ocean called life. I love you like my life depends on it, and honestly it does. I love you like love is still enough, like crossed fingers and a kiss for luck, and I pray that love, you love me like the same.
From the artist that brought you the debut solo album Gemini comes a new EP. Jay Bada presents his sophomore solo project titled Indian Summer, The Prologue. Written and produced during one of the most unique and impactful years of our existence, 2020. Check out this EP full of good intentions, positive lyrics, and a unique flow. Listen from your favorite streaming platform today. For more music from Jay Bada, follow him on IG at JBadaMusic. Welcome back to the JRose Experience. I'm your host, JRose, but you already know that. I'm back here with my two guests, and we're going to have a little group discussion. I want to talk to you ladies about what it takes to pave your way up as a performer. Because it's great to be a writer and write poetry, but when you make the decision that you want to perform and that you actually want to go somewhere with it, it's a big decision, and you have to pave your way. So what are some of the things that you had to do to pave your way? What are some of the behaviors that you had to change so that you can put your art out there? Tell me, ladies.
You want to go first?
Okay. Well, for me, starting out in Atlanta in the 90s was no joke, because it was not friendly. It was not nice. Like, it was gangster. The poetry scene and spoken word scene, I was like, I thought we were poets and we like birds and butterflies. What the hell is this? No. But it was a major thing. So for me, the biggest thing is that being the only child take charge thing was I had to learn how to sit down and shut up. And so I did a lot of listening. I would go and I would listen to the John Goods and the Cola Rums and the Johanna Sharifs and all these people at the Patty Hut or at Yin Yang or at More Epics or all these places. I would go and they knew me because I sang.
Yeah.
So I was singing with a jazz band, and I would do stuff for different styles, so they knew who I was. But none of them knew I wrote poetry or of any kind, because I was like, I'm gonna stick with this, and then I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna study.
Yeah.
And became good friends with a poet named John Good. And John Good was the first person to let me know that being who I am is okay. That I did not have to mimic someone else. That I needed to write in my voice the way I write, and it would be fine because it would come off authentic and genuine.
Yes.
And so the biggest thing for me was listening, learning, and finding my voice.
Yes.
And those are the biggest pieces of the puzzle for me, to learn that there's a difference between poetry and spoken word. Not everything that you write translates well off the page.
Yes.
And having to learn how to write for that, and learning how just to not super plan. Like I don't super plan when I go for gigs or I have to perform, because I don't know the room yet. And I need to make sure that I'm speaking to you, and not just speaking in
the generic audience in your mind.
I'm just gonna speak to this audience in my mind. When there's somebody in the room, there's a song, an old song, you old, but she said last night a DJ saved my life. Yeah. And so I take that song to heart every time I step on stage. Last night a poet saved my life, and I can think of the number of times where Kierra has gotten on stage, or somebody else has gotten on stage, where there was something she said or something they said that I needed. Yeah. And they didn't know I needed it, but they came in and they felt the room, and whatever I put out in that room, they got it. Yeah. And they spoke to it, and I needed that. So it was my sit down, shut up, listen. And then listen with not the intent to answer, just listen.
Just listen. Yeah.
And then you're good. Yeah. So once I listened and figured out, okay, that's what this is about. It's okay to speak like I speak. Yeah. Because who needs to hear me will hear me. Cool. I'm good.
Yeah. Got it. What was your experience like? What are the things that you had to learn and change?
Yeah. So I actually came into the poetry scene in recent years when I moved to Atlanta. And so I would frequent a lot of places like Urban Grind, the former Java Monkey, Apache, places like that. Yeah. And for me, I second a lot of things she said, where you just sit back and listen. Yeah. And the biggest thing for me was just finding my vibe. When you go to a lot of these places, you're going to see there's different crowds at each. There's different vibes at each. Some places you may want to wait till you're a little more well seasoned. As we was talking about.
Why you get booed or something?
Yeah, because a lot. Ouch! They don't really boo as much anymore, but it will be a silent crowd if you don't know what you're doing. And it just depends on what you're trying to get out of it. Some people, when people are going because they know what they're saying, they have something to say, they practice this, they're a really great artists, and then some places are for amateurs or people who may have just wrote something 30 minutes ago and they just want to get out to an open mic night, So I definitely say, listen, don't be afraid to go to different places though, and test out what your vibe is. And that's what I had to do. Cause not every place is for you. Yes. And that's okay. Not every place is for you. You want to see what's going to be for you instead of you trying to assimilate to another place. Because it's not going to be authentic and people can feel that, Yes. And then you can feel that. It's too much energy trying to be something.
Yeah, you're trying too hard.
Yes. So definitely just for me, it was just finding all the different places, going to them, testing out what I like, listening a lot. I went to open mics for about a year and a half before I even started
touching the stage.
Yeah, going on stage. And what I did was I actually went to my poetry friends who I trusted. I'm like, hey, how does this sound? Because I would write a lot. We knew each other. I would go to writing workshops and stuff. And I'm like, okay, if they vouch for it, then I'm like, okay, I'll try it out and see what happens. Yes. And just grow from there. And don't be afraid of criticism, because if you're going to the right person, they're going to give you some great criticism. And you can take what you want from it, but a lot of times people are coming from the heart, especially if you ask them and they are artists themselves. They're going to be in your best interest to give you what you need. So I definitely co-sign, like I said, a lot of things she said. Listening, testing out the places, different spots to figure out what vibe is for you. Yeah. And then just going from there, because once you find a place that's for you, you'll naturally grow into that and really become great at what you are, whatever that vibe is. So, definitely.
Now, both of you have been on some really amazing platforms. How did you navigate your way to be able to get on those platforms?
Yeah.
Work.
It's 10,
Put that work
they
in.
always
Work
say
in.
10,000 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I do a lot of writing, Even if I don't have anything to write about, I write. You'll see scribbles of paper in my house, but I would just write until I went to a workshop where somebody said, okay, you see this like bright red ball, and they had this huge vase, and they threw the ball down in the vase, and they packed all this tissue on top of it, and you couldn't see the ball, and it was like, so is the ball still there? And it was like, yeah, it's in there. It's still in there. Sometimes you gotta unpack some stuff to get to.
Whoa, what a visual.
So it was like, oh, okay, so now let me write, and then something will appear out of it. So like April is my month. It's my National Poetry Month.
Yes, 30 for 30.
I write my 30 for 30.
Oh gosh, God bless y'all, because
I didn't do it this year.
I be like, you getting 3 out of me, and that's it.
Yeah, I am faithful
That 30
to.
for 30
I
was
was like, you are not going to sleep until you write this. Now I'd be like, okay, I pump myself. I'd be like, what I say.
You even she even bullies herself.
I bully myself because it's like, no, what you gonna do is you treat this with the same way you treat them deadlines at work for somebody else's stuff. I'm making somebody else money. Okay, well, you do it for you.
Yeah, put that same
but
energy into yourself.
It's work. And getting to where I don't even know, it's like you don't even notice how you got to certain stuff. So, like, I'll be on a show, and then I'll look next to me and be like, how I get in here with y'all? like these are people that I love and
you look up to,
admire, and look up to.
And
so,
here you are rubbing shoulders.
Right. And my phone rings, and it's, but I've known her for 1,000 years, but Georgia Mia called me. And I'll be like, hey, what's up, Georgia Mia? She's like, yeah, I want you to do Tamika Fest.
Oh.
When other people vouch for you, like, and recommend.
I'm sharing thoughts here. Like, I did a residency. And the person who wrote my recommendation for my residency was John Good. And I was like,
that's so sweet.
But
do you find yourself in that position as well, where you like,
for sure,
where you see people you that you were your mentors, like now looking at you like,
for sure. It's so crazy because I'll get like opportunities or people reach out to me and they'll be like, hey, so and so reached out to me and recommended you. Whether it's like, shout out to Lyric, Columns on Lyric. She's one of the people that I looked up to when I first came on the scene, and she's from New York. And when she came down here, it's one poem she did. Oh, what was it? It was about Vine. Was it Vine? Was that the social media? It was one of these social media, doing it for the Vine. Yes, that's what it was. She did a poem when she first came down here, and I was like, I like her. And I literally stuck to her, like, throughout the years, and, like, we became, like, really good friends, and she kind of became, like, my mentor, and she actually was one of the people who proofread my poetry book for me, and I was just like, yo, like, I really, like what you're doing, like, and we became friends, and, like, throughout the years, like, she's recommended people to me for, like, different performances, and her and a couple other friends, and, like, I feel like with that, you get in those spaces and you forget, like you said, how much work you've put in. And honestly, all of the progress and stuff, like, when you're really in it and you're working and stuff, time flies. Yeah. And you're just like you said, you're like, how did I get here? But you got here from all the hard work that you've done. And when you are in that hard work, I always tell people, like, enjoy the process. Because that's when you find, like, your friends. That's when you really get to form those connections, so that when you are in those high places and stuff, like, now you have other people looking up to you, and you're just like, I'm just here. Like, I'm still learning as I go. I know. But just always enjoy that process and do the work. Like, a lot of times if people are reaching out to me for to book something, I immediately like, okay, and I'm honest with myself. I'm like, have I been writing? Like, have I not? And if I haven't, like, this year was one of those years where I'm just like, it's just not there for me.
2020.
Let me tell you, and I'm honest with people about that, but you also know that you have poems that you have written. Like, a lot of times as an artist, your work is, like, timeless. So, unfortunately, like, a lot of the stuff that I talk about is still relevant. You just
know, that's the part that sucks. That's the part you wish would change.
Right, and that's the thing, and I always have to remember, because I remember when I first started out, because I did go to so many places, you'll see you'll see some of the same people, and they may do a lot of the same poems over and over, but those are different audiences. Yeah. You know, for you, it may feel like, dang, I've done this poem like 100 times,
but that's
new
to them.
It's a new audience, and for them, like they if they still love it, obviously that poem is still very relevant. So
yeah, especially with nothing like when you have like a crowd that knows you already and they know your poem, and you're like, yes,
like this my jam.
When I see certain people, I'm like, oh, you know you're doing that.
Right.
I know.
Yeah. They just gotta say one word. You're like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes. All right, let's play a game.
Okay.
Woo, woo.
Yes. All right, so it's time for Off the Top, which is our random game. You pick a card and we play it. Sometimes we create something. Sometimes we just play a game. It's different. It's random. So let's pick a card. And let's see. Wait, let me mix them up because we shuffle. All right. What you got? You can pick. You can pick.
Let me pick. Okay. What is this one? Uh-oh. New phone.
Yes.
Okay.
Hold it up. Show it to the audience. New phone. Who this? This is a new game for the JRose Experience. I'm super excited. Let me go get the cards and we'll be right back. Whether it's tax season, the holidays, or whatever falls in between, you want to make sure that you're being smart with your money. So go visit my girl, Queen Candace, at the Queen Blueprint to learn how to gain your financial freedom. You could get a personalized debt payoff plan, a full financial overview, and learn to repair your relationship with money. Smarter money moves are waiting for you at www.thequeenblueprint.com or call 877-387-BLUE. Use code JRose20 for 20% off of all our financial services. Yay, we're back, and it's time to play our Off the Top game. It's going to be new phone, who dis? I know a lot of you have sent that message. I send it all the time. Don't be offended if you got it. Okay, so ladies, you each are going to pick 5 cards. These are going to be your replies. I have the inbox messages. So I'm going to send you an inbox message, and you're going to pick a card to reply to me. So just pick any 5, whatever you want. Just choose from the top, from the bottom, whatever. She want to pick from the middle. I know you are. You're a rebel.
I am, you know.
Without a cause.
And then I'm going to pull them bottom too. Because that's
just
how I
because
roll.
she can. Love it. Ah, I hope I don't fall. Okay. Y'all ready? She's already laughing at her response.
These are, oh my gosh.
Okay. Inbox message. I want something more than just casual sex with you.
Okay. Do I just give it to you?
No, you can give it. All right. Kierra says, that was really forward. I've never heard you say more than 2 words in my entire life. Okay. Not what I was expecting, but hey, my birth wasn't expected, so who am I to talk?
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever received a text like that?
No.
All right.
I'll get straight.
Ooh, I like this one. This one actually came up. Want to go do karate in the garage?
Oh my gosh.
And I shuffled.
Okay, see, now I got it. Okay.
You read it. I don't want to read it. You read it.
Oh my gosh.
What's your response?
Okay. Now's not a good time. I got my dick stuck in a jar of peanut butter again. I just couldn't resist.
I think it's the again that got me.
In a jar of peanut butter? I'm dead.
How often? Never mind.
What you got? What's your response? I'm done.
Oh my gosh.
If it involves me putting on pants and pausing Mulan, then it's a no.
Dang.
Yeah.
We are in quarantine. Pants are optional.
Right. Getting dressed.
All right. Hey, I'm the really tall guy from the club last night. Want to grab a smoothie? What you got? What's your response?
Sorry, I'm texting back so late. Didn't hear my phone buzz. I was about to beat my high score in Dance Dance Revolution. Obviously, they were not that interested.
No smoothie for you, tall guy from the club.
Say, can't we just split a hoagie and talk things through? I mean, I would rather have the hoagie.
Right? You'd rather
have the food.
A hoagie's a sandwich, right?
Because then I'll be hungry.
In New York, we don't say hoagie.
So,
yeah.
So.
All right. Well, we got 2 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just got my period, thank God.
All these options. Okay. I'm ready.
I'm good.
You want to go first?
I'll go. Listen, I know you think it's funny to text me stuff like that, but it's getting really old and frankly pretty concerning.
Imagine somebody sending that literally every.
Can you imagine? That's the response. That's so mean.
Yeah, I'm concerned that you text me about your period activity.
Mine just say you're nasty for that. You're nasty. Listen.
Damn. Can a girl just get her period and thank God?
But I don't even know.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Can you please stop calling me daddy? It makes me really uncomfortable.
You want to go?
This is why you're not invited to casino night with the boys.
Oh my gosh, you are such a bad boy. Naughty, naughty, naughty. So nice.
That was actually perfect. Oh my God. Yo.
Okay, now I need this game.
I'm going to go through this game so that I have default responses for people.
Right. That's hilarious.
All right, I got one last question for you guys. I ask every guest that comes on the show. I'm a believer that creative people are of supernatural realm. We're just not normal people, right? We do magical things. We create. We do things that people could never even think of. So, what is your superpower?
Could it be like any superpower?
Whatever you feel is your superpower. Reach within that vase, girl.
I think my superpower is being able to reach people and reach people in a way that kind of just makes them feel understood. So, yeah.
Nice. I like that. That's a good superpower to have. What's yours?
My superpower is I'm an autism mom. It is not for the weak at all. And it forces you to be creative. My son will always tell you that the difference between him and someone else is he is a Mac and we are all PCs.
Ooh.
And the problem is we're trying to run PC software on this Mac and it doesn't work. And you think something's wrong with the Mac and it's like, no,
it's just different.
It's a different operating system.
Right. Yeah.
So the way you reach him, it's not that normal thing.
It's not the...
And so I learned how to be creative by having to figure out and navigate around
his system.
His system. And it makes me able to navigate around anybody's system.
Yeah.
To understand that I may say something and you may hear something different. So I might need to communicate that differently to you than I do to you.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And realizing that nobody is the same.
Yeah.
So that's my superpower.
Ooh, we got some good superpowers up in here. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for coming on the show. I'm so happy. I mean, we connected, digitally through social media and texting, but to finally be out here in Atlanta to meet you two ladies, it was just such an honor. Please tell the audience where they can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram at I am Kierra Lashae. That's I am KIERRA LASHAE. On Facebook, I'm Kierra Lashae as well. It's just my first and middle name. So yeah, Instagram and Facebook.
There you go.
I am Rare Epiphany. It's just the word rare and the word epiphany all smashed together. So yeah, those two E's trip people up in the middle.
Yeah.
But I am Rare Epiphany on Instagram. I am Pamela Rare Epiphany Best, as in the very. On Facebook. You can find Rare Epiphany's Kitchen on Pinterest. And I have a channel on YouTube. So you can see music and all kinds of stuff and see food and all that good stuff.
Yes, what's the YouTube channel?
YouTube channel is Rare Epiphany.
Rare Epiphany. There you go. Make sure you follow these amazing creatives. They are phenomenal. They go beyond the world of poetry. And of course, follow us on the gram at JRose Experience. You can tune into all our episodes on the Rose Garden Events Facebook and YouTube page. Yes, we're on Facebook. It's lit. What? Okay. And you can follow me as your host at My Crumbled Thoughts. But of course, you guys already know that. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Keep growing. Peace.